Hey y'all, please hit that like button as you guys come in. I know this was completely unplanned, but hit that like button. I really wanted to talk about the fact that Brit skipped the reunion. And so let's get into it. I'm just going to give you guys some time to come in, but hit that. Hey y'all, hit that like button as you guys come in. Let's talk about Brit. So, word on the street is Brit skipped the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Can you guys believe it? Like, that is crazy. I feel like this is probably the first time a newbie, a full time housewife, decided to skip the reunion. Why do you guys think she skipped the reunion? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But she decided that she was not going to come. She did not want no parts of the reunion. And I'm just thinking, like, if she had come to the reunion, who would she have had beef with? I suspect there would have been something between her and Kelly. Definitely. Her and Kelly would have gone back and forth. There would have been conversations about the Kenya, more of it all. I think that there would have been conversations with it turns out it feels like Portia and Brit do get into it a little bit towards the new episode whilst they're on holiday or something. So it looks like there must have been some serious back and forth that went on. Or do you think that Brit is running from all of the different allegations that have come up recently about her? Let me know what you guys think. Because I do think that it is a bit odd that like this is your first season. I feel like in this season, Brit was talked about a lot by a lot of people, especially with the whole Kenya Moore thing that happened. So it's like, how is it that after everything, with everything that happened, after everything, how is it that she still decided not to show up? It's like, girl, this was your opportunity to show up, to show out, let people really see who you are, let people see you clap back, let people see you take the heat and defend yourself. Because most times on these housewives shows, the first season for most housewives is not really the season that people love you. Most times people don't like you, they can't stand you, and then after seeing you a few times, after getting to know you a little bit more, then people warm up to you. But it feels like Brit didn't even give people the opportunity to warm up to her because she decided not to show up. And it's like, it's so sad because they didn't bring Kenya this season, right? They didn't bring her to the reunion. They invited Brit, and only for Brit to then not show. It's like, girl, they could, if they had known that Brit wasn't going to show, maybe they could have decided to invite Kenya. But instead, that didn't happen. So now Brit didn't show up. So that's a huge part of the storyline because, granted, she didn't exactly do anything to like push the storyline forward, but then there was the whole Kenya Moore and Brit situation. They could have talked about it. There was also Brit's event that was a disaster. That could have been something that could have been talked about. There was also Brit versus Kelly, that could have also been something that could have been talked about. So there were different things that could have genuinely been a subject of conversation at the reunion. But I feel like, unfortunately, Brit decided not to show up. Now, we don't know why she didn't show up, but all we know is that she didn't show up. And if I believe, I'm trying to go back to where I saw it. Yes, the neighborhood talk do cover it, saying that she reportedly skipped taping the reunion. um I don't know why. Let me just share my screen real quick. I don't know why a newbie would choose the first reunion to be the one that she doesn't turn up to. Huh. Why is it showing me all these different tabs that I do not want to show? 1 second. Okay, found this one. Yeah, so it says Brit Edie skips the reunion. Brit reportedly skips taping while Kenya was disinvited. And it's just like, how do you lot disinvite Kenya? Like, first of all, how do you disinvite her? And then the person you were keeping chose not to come. It's like, it's such a disappointment if you think about it. So that means we're probably not going to get a three-part reunion. Not that we wanted a three-part reunion to begin with, because in all fairness, what would they have given us at the so-called three-part reunion? To me, I feel like this season has been a little bit shaky. It has not been very entertaining, so I would not have wanted a three-part reunion. But even if they wanted to drag it to three parts, how would they even drag it if Brit, who has a lot of things to talk about with the girlies, is not going to be on the at the reunion? And I wonder, is it something to do with the allegations about her so-called license? Is this why she's not showing up? Is this something that is completely different? Is this just like, I just don't get it? So it says, let me just read a few comments. Someone said Brit skips her first reunion, recast immediately. Exactly. That is the vibe it gives, because like, your first reunion is your opportunity to show up and show out, is your opportunity to clap back, is your opportunity to show people why you're here and let people see why Bravo believed in you, because they must have seen something. So it's your opportunity to really show them that like they made the right decision. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. The likes are not matching the number of people in the chat, so please hit that like button as you guys come in. So it's just like, yeah, for me, I just don't understand why your first reunion, your first opportunity to show people why you are there, you chose not to show up. It's, I don't want to assume, but if she was really running, then that's a bit of a cowardly move. Because it's like, yes, I understand all of the girlies are not really seeing it for you. I know she ain't cool with Angela like that. She's not cool with Brit, with Kelly anymore. Her and Drew aren't cool like that. Um, the only person I think she was cool with is Portia. And so if you think about that, then that means like maybe she's thinking like, I'm gonna be on an island by myself. But then that's what housewives do. You will be on an island by yourself, but you go and ride that island. You go ride that boat. You go and make sure you don't sink. Like, that's what Real Housewives do. And so it's like your first opportunity to show us that energy, to show us that the money wasn't wasted in casting you, that you deserve the spot, especially because people are expecting more from you, because they feel like your presence, your actions led to the demise of, or led to Kenya getting fired, the demise of Kenya from the show. So, of course, people are not going to take a liking to you because of that, at least for a while. So, your opportunity to come to the reunion, take accountability for your part in it, be open to reconciliation, could have elevated you in the eyes of the viewers. And the sad part of it is, you're unlikely to get a second season based on you deciding not to show up at the reunion. And now everybody will remember you for being the girl who had miles in her mouth, for being the girl about town, for being the girl who, the girl who like cost Kenya her spot, for being the girl who has such a nasal sounding voice. It's like that is all people are going to remember you for, which is so sad because you could have just sucked it up, showed up to the reunion, brought it, and at least people will have something else to say about you that is not negative. Hopefully, right? You would at least have had an opportunity to defend yourself on some things and take accountability for others. So I definitely think that she should have shown up. Um, but I've also heard allegedly that a family member or someone passed. So I don't know if that is why she did not show up. But whatever the case may be, I just don't think that it's a good way to start your housewife's career by missing out on going to your first reunion. So I will say that. But yeah, guys, hit that like button as you guys come in. Let's talk about the seating chart for a quick second before I have to run off. Okay, so my initial thoughts about the seating chart. First, I'm not shocked that Portia is right next to Andy because I feel like a lot of this season as Portia has been in the middle of everything, even though Portia is the villain this season. So Portia has been all up in the middle of everything. It's almost like there's Portia versus Shamia, Portia versus Angela, Portia versus Kelly, even though I don't know why Kelly has an issue with Portia because as far as I know, there hasn't really been that much interaction. But I know Shamia and Kelly are tight, so Kelly is going to come and be a lapdog for Shamia. So Portia and Kelly are gonna have beef. Portia and Drew also have beef. So it's like Portia versus everybody at this point. So I do think that it makes sense to have Portia right next to Andy because it's really Portia versus everybody. Now, I don't know about Shamia being first chair because I don't know. Is Shamia the one with the biggest? I guess Shamia is the one with the biggest issue with Portia. So maybe I get maybe what that's why they put her right next to Portia. But I think perhaps Shem, Angela and Portia maybe, but I'm not mad at Portia versus Shamia in terms of sitting right next to Andy because not much happened in this season anyway. So I feel like it makes sense, as it is really. Then I would say that please hit that like button as you guys come in. I would say that um Angela, it makes sense that Angela is right next to Shamia, even though I feel like Angela could have been first chair, but fine, it's not that far fetched because Angela did have more of a slower start to the season, if we're being honest. It seems that Angela things didn't really kick off and we didn't see more of Angela until like the season with like what went down with Kenya Moore, and then that's when we started to see more of her. So I will say I can understand maybe why she's second chair, or do I still think she could have been first chair right next to Portia and right opposite Portia. Then Kelly, heck no. Drew should have been right next to Angela. I don't think Kelly should have been right before Drew. And this is another thing that I say where I say I feel like they do not value Drew, in my opinion, because why is she on the far end when at least Drew has brought a little bit more than Kelly has brought this season. I feel like Drew definitely brought more than Kelly has brought. Because what has Kelly brought except like shouting in scenes, right? But like, I don't, when she's in a group, I don't remember much of anything that she has said this season. I don't remember. I don't even think there was any episode where like even my commentary was focused on Kelly in any way, right? Like most of my commentary have been focused on maybe Shamia, Portia, Drew, and maybe Angela, right? But I don't really think like I've really gone out to be talking about Kelly like that episode by episode. So I genuinely think that there is no reason for her to be sitting right next to Angela. It should have been Drew. And I really believe that, Drew girl, if I were you, I would start looking for other opportunities, because I do not think Real Housewives of Atlanta Bravo like you very much. And I understand why sometimes you are a little bit unlikable, because of the fact that, like, it's like sometimes we don't know. It's like you and Ralph. Is it true? Is it not true? And I think sometimes people struggle with that. But aside that, I actually like Drew. And I feel like Drew shouldn't be sitting on the end. I think it's a big disservice for Drew to be sitting on the end. They could have had Drew sit opposite sort of Shamia. Well, technically, if Shamia's first chair, then that can't happen. But let's say Shamia was second chair, then they could have had Drew sitting opposite Shamia, right? So Portia sitting right opposite Angela, then Shamia and Drew sitting right opposite each other. That would have made sense. And then Phaedra Parks could have been sitting right after, and then Kelly right after. Because I just think I don't really remember anything that Kelly has really brought that was so interesting to me. I'll be honest. If you guys disagree, please let me know in the comment section, or the live chat rather. I personally don't see Kelly as she brought anything entertaining. There wasn't even a confessional, which is very sad, right? Because confessionals, you expect to see a more lighthearted moments. The people that got me cracking up in the confessionals would be Portia, got me cracking up some confessionals. Shamia got me cracking up in some confessionals. I can't even say the word confessionals. Angela got me cracking up in some confessionals. Just those three. The rest, oh, Phaedra when she came, but bear in mind that Phaedra only came until at the tail end, right? But for the most part, the people that have really gotten me cracking up is Portia on a regular, Angela, and then Shamia every now and then, right? So I just don't think Kelly being right next to Angela before Drew makes a lick of sense. It really doesn't. And this is why I say it's testament to the fact that these people do not like you, Drew. If I were you, I will get ready, get my ducks in a row, get ready to move on to greater pastures, because clearly they're moving like people that want to X you. They're moving like people that do not want you there. They do not want no parts of you. They are just tolerating you because they do not have anyone yet to replace you. This is just my opinion. Because let's be honest, why else is Drew at the end? Right? Portia's a huge part of Portia's storyline. Portia and Drew's storyline have been Portia and Dennis. So why is she at the far end? Right? I get it. It's not really like a fun storyline. I get it, right? But why is she at the end? I guess also because maybe perhaps the only other thing that we remember from Drew this season is the music. Um, is the music. I think the first few episodes so far, she wasn't really bringing much, but towards the end, she started bringing a little bit more to the show outside of music. So maybe that is why. But I still think Kelly, nah, ma'am. Kelly, nah. That means maybe to an extent they like Kelly and really cannot stand Drew Scott. I'm like, Drew, what happened? What did you do to these people? Because these people don't like you at all. Because putting you at the end after the lady that is always screaming, that screams they do not like you. They do not want no parts of you. They do not want you anywhere. And the fact that everybody got press and they didn't even give you press until this last 2 weeks is really giving they do not want you at all. At all. Now, you guys may or may not know that Drew did an interview with the Breakfast Club. And she did say something that I was like, okay, girl. She talks about go naked hair, and about go naked hair isn't very good. Like when you dye, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, girl, just on a professional level, honey, if you used to work for somebody's business. Like, wasn't there no like NDAs or something? Like, you can't speak bad about the business. Did you sign anything or you didn't sign anything? Like, I'm just curious because I'm like, girl, that's not how I run my bag, because I'm not about to be speaking about a business that kept me employed for years and was giving me hair that I was rocking, especially because Drew used to have really bad hair and the looks were not given. And since she got on the Go Naked hair contract, she was definitely giving really good hair, right? So when you think about it like that, it's like, and then you're now speaking bad about the hair, but you were okay to be out here promoting things to us, telling us the hair was good and, trying to get us to buy the hair. I don't think that speaks well of you, because one, your audience wants to know that they can trust you, and if you are working with a brand, you trust the quality of what you are selling, right? You're not just working and like being like, oh yeah, go naked hair, da, 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 when you believe the hair is crap just because of a bag. So you're already losing your indirectly losing your credibility, because now people are thinking like, wow, should I really buy this hair if now you're telling us that the hair wasn't that good? So I would be careful of saying things like that, because those things can backfire on your influence and your ability to actually influence people to get anything that you are selling or trying to promote. People love influencers or content creators they believe, right? Content creators they know that like will not endorse products they don't think are good. So if you're out here trying to sell a product to me and you've outrightly spoken ill about the product, then I'm thinking, okay, so you knew it was crap, yet you wanted us to buy the crap and you were promoting the crap. That's how I would feel as someone, if I was, as someone like outside looking in, if I was one of those people that like follow what someone say and I'm like, oh, well, let me buy it. Oh, this person plugged this thing. Let me go over there and check it out. I would feel some type of way. But that was the one thing that I was like, Drew girl, maybe don't be saying stuff about a business that you were promoting, because now it looks like you were endorsing something that you know was not good quality and it doesn't look good on you as well. Um the other thing I want to talk about is Kenya's apology. So let me get it out. Let me see. Oh, not Didi. Not Didi, no, sir. Right here. Besides, I've noticed that you guys don't really be liking no Didi content. Every time I want to talk about Didi, you guys do not watch those videos. You guys are not here for it at all. Anyway, so Kenya says, I'm disappointed to not be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta 16 reunion taping today. Please know I take full accountability for my actions and deeply apologize to all those affected, including Brittany, the cast, crew, guests, and viewers. I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. Now, first things first, this is what Kenya should have done a long time ago. Mama, I wish you had literally said this a long time ago. Whilst everybody was out here saying, did you do it? Did you not do it? You gave us the impression that that wasn't true and people were lying on you and stuff, when you could have cleared it up. You could have apologized. You didn't. And this is the thing. It's like now I get it, but I just hope the apology is not a little too late, because it's just like you've doubled down, doubled down, doubled down. And then is it now that you've seen you've been on the receiving end, or you've seen how much you missed the check, that you're now being like, oh, okay, let me take full accountability for my actions. Let me finally accept that what I did was oops. Oh, literally, luckily I drank the water. My glass fell. But anyway, yeah, so it's just like maybe it's Kenya does not like what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like I wish that you had taken that full accountability a while back. Like that would have been sweet. You take full accountability, you apologize, people are like, all right, cool, she's apologized, everybody moved on. We could have been moved on. Maybe people would have even been like trying to get you back on Bravo. Maybe Bravo would have even been more inclined to keep you. But the way you doubled down, is why you are in this situation now. And so I'm glad she's taking full accountability, but I do think that this is something that she should have done a while back. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. That like is not the likes. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Sorry, Kenya. The likes are not matching the number of people that are watching. So please hit that like button or dislike. Just hit it. Thank you very much. Okay. So I feel like she should have at least taken this accountability a while back. I'm glad she's doing it now, but I just hope it's not a little too late. Because sometimes, like when you wait too long to take accountability, by the time people are like over it, people have moved on, people are just like, oh, please. Now, I will say a lot of people still want Kenya back, especially because of how bad this season has been. So I do think people want her back soon. I do think it's also interesting that she says, I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. I wonder if that's her way of telling Bravo, like, I'm available, you guys call me. Excuse me. Um, maybe that's a way of, doing that. Maybe Bravo already like spoke to her and said to her, like, okay, we may be open to bringing you back on, but you need to publicly apologize properly for your actions before we can bring you back. So I do think like there's a potential that that was what happened. So I will not be surprised if Kenya is back on our screen soon. Think about it. Like a lot of us thought Phaedra would never come back. And look at it. Phaedra is back years later, right? So I think Kenya is just going through her Phaedra moment. And eventually she will be back on our screens, especially now that she is taking accountability. I think in the past, if she hadn't taken any accountability, then I suspect it would have been very hard for them to bring her back, because it's like you're not taking accountability and then you're very vocal. It's like people are going to struggle, you know. So I do think that at least at this time it's clear she's taking accountability. She's trying to move forward. She's apologized. I don't know if she has directly apologized to Brittany. In terms of who Kenya Moore is, she probably has not apologized and has no intentions of apologizing directly to Brittany. But she's apologized because in the public, because it's the public she wants to receive the apology, right? So I would say, yeah, that's probably what that is. Um, would you guys want to see Kenya back on the show? Um, I feel like, yeah, I personally would want to see her back on the show. Um, yeah, personally, I would want to see Kenya back on the show. I would also want to see a few other people outside of Kenya as well on the show. I do feel like there are lots of people that bring a certain flair to the show that has been missing. I feel like Real Housewives of Atlanta had too many newbies this season, and I think it just was not given what it was meant to give. Like when you have too many newbies, I just think that it changes the dynamic so much. And I don't think it needs to be that. I think they could have kept some original cast members and then had maybe two newbies. That would have been okay. As opposed to three newbies, one original cast member, or four newbies, one original cast member. It was unevenly balanced. And it's obvious because then it seems like that one cast member, one OG cast member, has been on for so long, and it was literally be or is on an island by herself essentially. So yeah. Candy is saying, I want her back. I'm guessing that's Kenya. Lynn is saying, bring Kenya back. Yes, I absolutely agree. Yeah, as much as, for me, for the most part, I'm not a huge Kenya fan or anything. I do think that there's something that Kenya brings to the show, and that is definitely missing. And I think if they bring the other folks as well, like if they bring, I know we love ourselves some Nini, but if they bring Nini back on the show as well, Nini, Portia, Kenya, and Phaedra, I feel like they would have a good Kiki, and be able to have a good season. And then they can add like one new person. Angela into the mix, um, and maybe one friend of or something. Cynthia could be a friend of since there's already chemistry between them. So I do think like if they strategically bring certain people in, I do think that it could be an amazing next season. But I really do hope that they listen to us, because I find that for the most part, these people do not listen to us. They they bring whoever they want to bring, and that is it. That is all. They do not listen to their fans, and I think that's part of why they're in the predicament that they are in. I feel like if Bravo listened to their fans more and gave the fans what the fans want, then they would have more loyal viewers. They would not have such a dip in like the ratings. And I wish that these production and network listen to what your audience want. Like, I'm not saying like be out here like producing and just giving us the storylines that people are saying that they want to see. Not saying that at all, but at the same time, if your audience are saying to you they want to see something in a certain way, or they want to see certain people, at least we're not asking for storylines, we're just saying we want to see certain people, then bring the people. Bring the people. Why are you holding those people and then we're stuck with people that we don't relate to, we don't engage with? Like, I personally don't relate to Kelly in any way, right? I personally don't relate to Brit in any way. And I'm just like, I watch Brit and I'm like, oh, right. Like, I need more. Like, is her personality gonna become likable? Is she gonna pick up? Like, what is going on? Excuse me. And it just doesn't get better, right? So I feel like you need more people with big enough personalities, right? That's why I'm like someone like a Nini, a big personality by herself, right? Someone like um who else did I mention that I can't remember? Someone like Kenya, for instance. And but even Kenya needs an ensemble. Nini needs an ensemble. And I think one thing that I always say is, nobody is by themselves Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's a fusion of people. I feel like if Nini was by herself, and didn't have like a group of a group of you know other people that are also pulling their weight, then I don't think the show would be nice either, right? And I think people are saying things like, oh yeah, granted Portia didn't really bring that fun energy that we love to see from her. I agree with that. But then I also think that she cannot do it by herself. The other people also have to, there has to be synergy between all of them, all of the castmates as a unit, and the chemistry is just not there. Even when I was watching the after show and I saw Portia and I saw um Portia and Phaedra going at it and like having fun and stuff. And then I saw Brit. It was like you could barely even notice Brit. Brit was so like, it felt like Brit was barely there. Right? So if you think about her being barely there, it's like, so she doesn't have enough of a personality to bring anything different to the show, in my opinion. She really doesn't. I agree. They never listen. That's why I'm on and off. I'll go years without watching at a time. Absolutely. I agree with you. They don't listen. It's like, it, it really is frustrating because, like, in the real world, if you're dealing with like customers, they always say the customer is always right, right? So give the customer what they want. But these people, they don't be treating like the audience like customers. They treat the audience like we give you and you take whatever it is that we hand over to you. That is the vibe that it has been giving for such a long time. Hit that like button as you guys come in, guys. Hit that like button. So that's the vibe they give. They very much give, this is it. We don't care. This is what we are on kind of vibe. And I'm like, please, please give the people what the people want. Thank you. Please and thank you. Okay, let me see. The only reason I started watching was I thought Kenya would have held Portia's feet to the fire. Yeah, but to be honest, I feel like this season Kenya was not going to hold Portia's feet to the fire because Kenya and Portia were on a good footing. Of course, I don't know how long that would have lasted for because that never lasts long, but at least they were like on a really really good start to the show basically. So they were really good at the start of the show. Hit that like button, guys. The likes don't mean matching the amount of people that are in here. Hit that like button, please. And thank you. Live by Design says, but Kenya is gone and Portia is boring. Okay, so I will say this. I don't think Portia is boring as a person. And I say that because when I watch her YouTube channel every now and then, I actually feel I'm entertained. She could literally be eating and like talking about something random and I'm laughing and cracking up. So she's actually an entertaining person. But I just think that whatever it is she was going through this season, yeah, I don't think she was definitely herself at all. And she came across very boring this season, if I'm being completely honest. So, yes, I do agree that she was boring this season, but I don't think she's a boring person, if that makes any sense. Hopefully, Phaedra being back will make Portia more interesting because everyone is too boring to interact with her. Yes, I agree with you. I do agree and say everyone is also boring. That's the problem, right? Like, if for instance, you know how like you have a friend that even if you guys are tired, once you get into it together, you guys start cracking up, you guys start going back and forth, and you're bouncing off each other, and the energy is just amazing. I feel like that is what I miss when it comes to Portia. I feel like she had that good energy, fun girl energy, which she has definitely missed on this season. So I want to see her take accountability and talk about what was happening in the background, you know? So that's what I want to figure out as well. I agree. Brit was sitting there like extra furniture. She doesn't have the personality for reality TV. Absolutely. Like, I was like, girl, get in there. I know they're like besties or whatever, but get in there. Do something. Let us know that you are present. It was given, I'm not even there. You can't even see me. Like, it was bad. I'm just like, okay, girl, like if you're gonna be on reality TV, yes, you're pretty, but pretty is not gonna do it. You need to have more of a personality, and it was just dry to me. So yeah. Yes, I'm thinking she's saying Portia, she's not as boring as a person, but being around boring people is like interacting with the wall. Yes, I agree with you. And this is something that I've been trying to say because sometimes you have so much energy as you, like as a person, but by the time you get there you're just like, oh please, I need somebody else that is on my level, someone fun. Everybody is so serious. And I think that's what I noticed. It was like it felt like this season everybody was so performative. Everybody was just on that like, performative vibe. I'm trying to keep my peach. I want to go over and beyond and saying and doing the most in the confessionals and stirring up drama that is unnecessary just because they want to come across as interesting. And even though Angela is good with the reads, I feel like she she needs to bring out more of that entertaining personality. Like aside just being in confessionals, like more of that entertaining personality and stuff. I feel like Angela and Portia could be a really good team once they get over the hiccup of the whole Charles thing. Because I think the scene where they did it together and they were like, it felt fun. It felt fun. It felt fun. A little bit, at least. You can't have one entertainer. You need energy to bounce off of. I agree. Especially when you're even grasping at straws with your energy. Like, you're already not even in the best place, if you're already not in the best place, and then somebody is then like, and then people around you are also serious and nobody is fun and everybody's taking everything so seriously and so personally, is like, oh please get a life. Like, I do not want to be here. And I feel like that was more of what I was getting from everybody. It just felt like Portia was not having fun. She was not with her people. She was just like in the middle with all these random people who are so serious. And then to now think like, oh my God, my best friend, da 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 da. And then, but then in reality, it's like, okay, now your best friend and you aren't even on good terms. It's like, what are we doing now? Something that was meant to be fun is no longer fun, you know? Helena says Brit always wants to fight. I agree. Like, it, just seeing the preview for the next episode is wild to me. It's like, Brit, why do you have this much energy, honey, for fighting, but you don't have enough energy to show up and bring that energy and let's see that let's get into you a little bit. Let's actually see you for who you are. But you have so much energy when it comes to you have so much energy when it comes to fighting. When you perceive or feel like someone is coming to disrespect you, you're so quick. You want to go in so quickly. But yeah, nah, ridiculous. Yeah, I think she definitely has certain issues because she takes things too far and too seriously. Too far and too seriously. I really don't get it, honestly. It's like, what is going on? What is that about? Jean is saying it's so weak not to show up. She probably thought Kenya was going to be there. Yeah. I'm just like, I agree with you. Like, I'm just like, if you just decided not to show up because you're running, yeah, that is weak. It's a cowardice move. And I understand like these things cannot be easy. You know, after like a year of filming, now you have to see these people. Now you have to talk about things that you so called moved on from again. Now you have to like address these issues. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like that's what you signed up for. So you shouldn't just be able to then say I'm not coming just like that. Like, girl, they did not invite Kenya because of you. How dare you not show up? You know? So that's just what it's given. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's raining so heavily. Sorry about that. I left my window open because even though it's raining, it's still a bit hot. And yeah. So sorry about the background noise. If it's I hope it's not too bad. Let me know. If it is, then I'll get up and close my window. Um, Angela is messy as hell. Reality TV is for her. Absolutely. It is for her. And Charles is crazy. It's crazy as hell. But he's also really good reality TV. So it's like you get entertainment from Angela and you get a little bit from Charles as well. It's very embarrassing to be on the receiving end of Charles, but it is entertaining for us to watch it. It's entertaining for us to watch Charles, to watch the interactions, and it's entertaining seeing Angela being messy with the rest of the girls. But she does it so well. And she does it so well that people even forget to call her out. People forget that she stirs up the air. She starts it out so well. She does such a fantastic job of it. It needs to be studied. Angela should come back and the OGs. I agree. I feel like they probably just need to do a shake up of everybody, bring Angela back, bring the OG girls back, and then let's have a party. I think that would be so fun. It would also be interesting to see how Angela fits in with the OGs as a unit and whether or not Angela is still as outspoken, whether or not she still shines in a group like that. Because sometimes the reason people shine so brightly is because everyone else is dull, right? So I think it would also be interesting to see the dynamic between her and the rest of the OGs and whether or not like she also comes up still being like on top. Shamia should go back to friend of she's giving that energy. I hate to agree, but I think you're right. I do think that it's been a bit disappointing. A bit is an understatement. I'm trying to be nice. It's been very disappointing seeing how the whole Shamia. I remember when I found out she got a peach, I was so excited. And then I saw the dreadful fashion. I was like, what is going on? And then everything just seemed to have been going downhill since then. And I'm like, when you were a friend, we loved you, you brought the fun energy, and then you left, and that was good. But now it feels like you're bringing so much of a heavy energy over the show. It could have been fun if you didn't go and talk to those girlies about your so called bestie. We could have all been, you guys could have all been chit chatting, been having fun. It could have been so much fun. Imagine Shamia and Portia and Phaedra. That could have been fun. Seeing them have fun and reading the rest of the girls and having such a playful mannerism, that could have been fun to watch. But instead, you gave us the heavy storyline. And we're tired. We don't want to see no heavy storylines. Like, we want the fun Real Housewives of Atlanta back. We watch Real Housewives of Atlanta so we can, escape from things, not so we can be watching. Yeah, I don't like it at all. Brit is a chihuahua. Holbach can't really bite. I agree. I agree. I agree. And I actually hope that Portia reads her for filth and calls her a lapdog, actually, because I feel like for somebody, she keeps inserting herself in things that do not have anything to do with her. It's like, girl, give it a rest, honey. You are doing too much. You're screaming. Please use your inside voice and like let's address things normally. Like, so I'm gonna need her to like, oh, you said Brits. Oh my god, I read it as Kelly. I read it as Kelly. Leave by design. I read it as Kelly. Sorry, girl. I clearly don't see it for Kelly. That is funny. I read it as Kelly. But yeah, Brit is a chihuahua. I agree. But I also think Kelly is a chihuahua too. All back and no bite. Yes, Charles too. I think more is going to come up about him. I completely agree. I think that, yeah, I agree. I think the fact that Charles is her husband, I think things are probably going to get even more heated over the next few seasons if they continue to keep her, or if she continues to stay. I do think that there is a lot that can be unpacked just within that relationship, and I think will continue to get unpacked and unveiled as they continue to stay on the show. Like, I just hope that they get it together. If I'm being honest, I really hope they get it together, because yeah, when you're talking to your husband and asking him if he misses you and he's looking at you like, please, that is a problem. Like, you all need to get into therapy like yesterday. Yes, Live by Design is saying, yes, I want to see if Angela can match the OGs. I absolutely agree. Like, I would like to see her in the midst of the OGs. I want to see her next to Nini. I want to see how she performs. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a call. Sorry, let me just let the person know I'm on YouTube live. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. I usually put my phone on DND, but I don't know what happened. Uh, uh, One second. Sorry, guys. Okay, I've messaged saying I will call the person back later. But yeah, Um, yeah, I do want to see if Angela can match the energy, because I think it's easy to think like, oh yeah, she is a star and she's shining so bright, but at the same time, I want to see her outside of all of that. I want to see what her vibe is, what her energy is. And I also want to see if we can see more of the fun side. Like, will Sheree bring a fun side out of her? Will her and like Phaedra end up getting cool and we see more of a fun energy between them? Like, these are some of the things I would want to see and explore just over the next, well, few seasons if they do bring the OGs back. Live by Design is saying, yes, I was rooting for Shamia, but she can only be supporting Cass clearly. I know. And I'm thinking, do you think they're going to bring her back next season? Let me know what you guys think. Do you think they'll bring her back next season? Because I think that if they bring her back next season, I get the impression that Shamia be reading the comments. Shamia be reading the comments. She keeps her ears to the streets. This is just my opinion. And I feel like if she does, chances are she will return to the new season. If she gets another season, she will return to the new season being very different. I think she will definitely change some things. I think she will, because coming from what Drew said in her interview with Carlos, it gave the impression that Shamia is very concerned about image and wants people to like her. And she's also said in the past that she's a bit of a people pleaser, right? So I suspect that she would be reading the fan comments and then she will start behaving in a way that she feels that the fans want to see. That is the impression I get. So it would be interesting to see if she does stay for another season, what her vibe would be, and if it is consistent with what social media are saying. I do think there's a chance that it will be. Kelly is a chihuahua too. Well, glad we're on the same page, because I was like, when I read that, I literally saw Kelly's name instead of Brit. But yeah. Um yeah, I think so, because they don't listen to the fans. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I do think Shamia does, um, because there have been times where like something has been posted about something that she says, and then she's in the comments like clearing it up. So I think that is what that's who she is. She can't help that people pleasing thing where she's like, oh, she wants everybody to like her. And the thing is, ain't nobody. If you stayed as a friend of the show, most people would like you. But when you are a main cast, then people have the opportunity to dissect your life a lot more. People would like call you out constantly. Like, yeah, I agree. I do think that because she's constantly looking at what everyone is saying about her, what people are saying, what people are doing, I think that is why she's actually failing at it, because she is too invested. She's too invested in what people are doing. If she scratches what people are doing and stops reading the comments and engaging with all of that and just focuses on being herself, I think people will like her more. That's the thing. I think people that are made for reality TV are people who don't give a F. They're just like, whatever. If I ever was going to go on a reality TV show, first of all, I would not be going on no social media, reading no comments about myself. I'm going to let my team filter whatever it is that comes to me that I need to address. I will not be engaging. I would have a private social media with just 50 of my friends or whoever the number of my friends are, and that is it. Anyone else, you get the regular social media, and that is open to the public, and I don't really engage because at the end of the day, right? Even if you don't want to listen to what people are saying, the more you're reading comments, the more you're like, ooh, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try that, instead of just being yourself. And so I think, like, genuinely, I think a lot of these people, and maybe that's why the OGs survived, because a lot of them were not actively on social media like that. They just, they were on their show doing their thing. And then that was it. Like, it wasn't such a huge thing on social media at the time. But I think that now that social media is such a part of everybody's lives and everybody is practically on it all of the time, I think that that's where it gets a little bit tricky. 100% agree. People that don't care, they're just like, I do not care what you think. I know who I am, and that is all that matters. Those are the people that need to be on reality TV, not the people that deep down they care about everybody liking them and wanting everybody to like them. Like, recipe for disaster, please. Like, the worst set of people to be on reality TV are people who care about any little thing and everything. So, yeah, please hit that like button. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Okay? As you guys come in. Alrighty, let's see. Kelly has the potential to, but I don't think she was truly authentic. I can't even say the word authentic, because she was concerned about her friendships with Shamia and Brit. I agree. I think that Kelly just needs to stop being so like, forget about friendship. You're here to get to know people. You're here to like, let's kiki, let's get to know people, let's have fun. right? You're not here to like form alliances. And I think forming an alliance too early can also get you in a place where you've now formed this alliance and then you don't want to look like you're jumping ship when you could have just been friends with everybody. You could have gotten to know everybody. You could have taken your time before you found your person. You wouldn't really be in this situation. She can afford to give an assistant to give her a synopsis or tell her if it's a genuine complaint. Exactly. Even I can afford it. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to talk of someone like Shamia, like, girl, you can afford an assistant, let them tell you only what you need to address. Everything else, even get a PR person, let it be a PR person so that they can really manage it for you. And then they'll tell you what you need to address, what you need to not address. They'll give you pointers for your interviews instead of going to your interviews talking about Portia, then talking about Drew, then coming across as a hater. All those things would have been avoided. They would have told you how to do it. Say what you want about Portia, but when you watch Portia's interviews, you know that that girl knows how to do an interview. After every time I watch Portia's interview, you just think, oh, I feel like I get her side. Same as Drew. Drew is another person that I feel like does really good interviews. After watching Drew's interviews, you suddenly feel like you understand her perspective. But for some reason, after watching Shamia's interviews, you're a bit like, girl, now I think you're a hater. Like, why are you moving like this? And that's why I feel like she's doing herself a disservice because that may not even be who she is, but that is what she's coming across as. She has not mastered the art of communicating and figuring out how you communicate. All these things are important. And I don't think she is getting that. I think she's just very much in her feelings. She's too heavily emotional, too involved in the comments. And yeah, that's her problem really. Yep, I would not be reading comments either because I'm just like, yeah, nah, please, I do not want that negativity. And people always feel so invested, the way people will at you and be like telling you, like, oh, yeah, this. I'm like, girl, you seem so invested. Do you even know if this, like, why are you so invested? You're atting me, you're talking to me like, oh, stop being friends with your best friend. Like, what is, guys, you guys be getting so involved. Like, what is crazy? Um, so yeah, I just think like she needs better lessons at how to articulate herself in a way that she is not doing herself a disservice. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're genuinely doing yourself a disservice. That's what I've noticed. Because it's just like, girl, seriously, we know you're better than this, but why is it that all that is coming through is making you look like a hater? That's what I personally do not like. Um, you're saying she is forming an alliance with losers, and you're right. It absolutely feels like that. It definitely feels like she is forming an alliance with losers. And it's like, girl, why are you engaging with losers? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Why? Get to know people first. Don't jump the gun. Like, you don't even know these people. You already have your favorite. You don't know these people. You already like set out. And another thing that I didn't really like was it felt like a lot of them came up so they came up at the start so they knew what they wanted to do. They had watched the show, in my opinion, and felt like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come for this person. I'm going to come for that person. I'm going to come for that person. It felt like everything was very planned, so it wasn't like a natural interaction. Like when Kelly came and she's like, why did she take that woman's man? Like, I'm like, girl, that doesn't even seem natural. It just seems like, girl, you just came from nowhere. You don't even know this lady. Where did that even come from? And that's what I mean when I say, like, I feel they had watched it, they had planned it, and then they came on the show and then they're now trying to live whatever it is that they had planned out in their heads, and it's just not working out with the audience because we've been watching Real Housewives for a long time. We can see through the BS, and I think that's what it is. Drew is good at expressing herself, how to hate her even when you should. Absolutely agree. Every time I watch a Drew interview, I'm like, oh, Drew, she's so cute. She's so this. But I know what it is. And I don't knock it. I just laugh at it and I'm like, yeah, she is well prepped. She's very good at doing these interviews. She is very, very good at doing these interviews. You can tell she was a child actor. She was definitely prepped on how to answer questions. That girl, if she doesn't want to answer your question, she knows how to like shift the focus without coming across as I don't want to answer your questions. She knows how to redirect the focus away from what it is she doesn't want to talk about, you know? And so I feel like some of these people, they can actually benefit from things like that. Like if you're going to do some prepping, prep on how to do your interviews, prep on how to, articulate yourself. Those are the things that I feel like they should have prepped on, as opposed to prepping, and having your storyline as to, oh, I'm going to come for this person, going to come for that person. Because I think it kind of felt like maybe perhaps like they chose one person each. Okay, this is who I'm coming for this season. This is who I'm coming for. This is this. When it was not necessary, you could have just come as yourself, engaged with everyone, and then naturally conflict will happen. Like even friends that you've known for ages, you guys have conflict. Not to talk of like people you don't know like that. Conflict will naturally happen. It doesn't have to be planned. And I think that's where they're missing the or dropping the ball, I would say, this season. It seems very contrived and planned. I had so much secondhand embarrassment for Shamia, too many cringy moments. I agree. I think the most cringy moment for me, actually, two cringy moments that I can't get out of my head when I think about Shamia, which is so sad because I've always loved me some Shamia, right? And I feel like two cringy moments that I can't get out of my head would be one when she started barking, kiss my money making like I'm like, girl, no, it's not landing. Okay. This is not landing. This is not cute. I don't know what you thought this was gonna do, but it's not landing. That was one of my most cringy moments for her. The second cringy moment was when she was on an interview. I think it was at Dish Nation. Was it Dish Nation? Whatever, it doesn't matter, right? She was at an interview and she was out there talking about like Drew doesn't speak that many languages. I'm like, girl, why? That is so cringy. First of all, why do you know the lyrics to her dang song? And why did you sit down to break apart the lyrics to her dang song? That is so cringy. So I would say those are like the two most cringy moments for me. I think if I wanted to add one more, I would say it's when she was saying, like, I would never let you be the topic of conversation for the girls to be able to talk about you. I'm like, girl, but you did. That would be like, those are my top three embarrassing Shamia moments on this season. Because I was like, girl, please, no, nah. Yeah, you have to come blank and be yourself. Absolutely agree. They should have just let it flow naturally. Yes, they were overdoing it. They were doing too much. It looked too. You could tell they were fans. Brit kept repeating things that Kenya had said, which lets you know she was a fan of the show. And that's the thing. When you give fans the opportunity, don't be surprised when that because that's what you get because they're a fan. They don't naturally fit in within the show. They're just a fan. So, yeah. The barking one irritated me so badly. I'm like, girl, you're representing yourself and your husband. Come on now, girl. Tell me about it. Did you see how Portia cringed right next to her? Portia looks like, oh my God, you started again with this. And like, Portia looked irritated that when she was barking, like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, that barking thing irritated me. I could like that scene is like living rent free in my head. Like literally, I'm so embarrassed for her. Exactly. She doesn't read clearly, or she would know it was figurative. And there are multiple types of languages. Absolutely. And even if it wasn't, why is that your business? Like, it kind of gives a very competitive nature where it feels like because you're trying to do music and Drew is currently excelling in music, you're picking apart her music. That is it's a very terrible thing to do. And in the after show as well, she did something very similar when she was talking about Angela's property. And I was like, girl, you have a lot to say about people succeeding, which makes me think, like, is there something deep there, down there with you, and some insecurity? Because it's like, this lady is trying to sell the property. Like, what was the unnecessary shade about that? And then it's like, leave Drew alone. She's making music. If you want to make music, do your thing. Like, it doesn't have to be one versus the other. It doesn't have to be a competition. So I genuinely think that there is, and I agree with you, there is an obsession there with Drew. And I think it's because Drew is doing something that she wants to achieve, or something that she has not been able to yet achieve, and it is hurting her. Shamia needs to go back behind Portia. Oh, life by design. Do you mean that she needs to be back, like, as Portia's friend? Or do you mean like she needs to go behind Portia to be chatting ish? Which one is it? Let me know in the chat. But if you mean that she needs to go back behind Portia as like Portia's BFF and riding for Portia, then I will say yes, she should, because I feel like that's probably where she thrives the most, because they can bounce off each other's energy quite well. And because scenes where they're like sitting together, like whilst Brit's event where there was no food, that dreadful event, we still got a little kiki out of both of them, right? So I feel like they need to just be back cool if Shamia is going to be on that show, because I feel like they can be able to bounce off each other quite well, especially Shamia can bounce off Portia quite well. Yes, what she said about she would have done Angela a favor, like Angela was asking her for one. Yes, absolutely. I don't like that way of speaking, especially when it's like, this woman is, she hasn't exactly done anything directly to you. So I don't know why there is that much shade about her business, especially when she's talking about being in debt from trying to do this property business. And so it just comes across as like a very jealous, competitive personality that I think needs to change, because it just doesn't look good. She has a very jealous personality. Mama Diane was right about watching her. Yes, I actually agree with you, because we've seen how she's done with um Drew. And who knows, maybe that's what Mama Diane saw a while back and was like, this girl is gonna cost you your opportunity if you're not careful. You need to be careful how much you put into what she tells you, right? And we've also seen that Shamia can put a little sauce on things, right? So it's not far-fetched as to what Mama Diane said about being careful about the dog that brings the bone. Interestingly enough, I know people were saying like, oh, she's calling her a dog, but I didn't really read it as that. It's more that be careful of whoever is bringing the bone to you, because sometimes they be sick. But she was right, because technically Shamia was out here talking to Angela and Drew, yet she brings Angela and Drew's gist to Portia, but not what she said to Angela and Drew. So technically, Mama Diane was right. I know people do not like the fact that she said, "Be careful the dog that catches the bone," or that carries the bone, but she was right. She was right. She needs to go back to being a friend of Portia. We don't need to see her so often. She's annoying. I agree. And maybe that's why Portia clearly don't be always seeing it for her. Portia is probably just annoyed, because if we find her annoying already, Maybe Portia is tired of her. Portia is like, girl, she is so annoying. This is what I have to deal with all the time. Like, maybe you guys are finally seeing it for yourself. Oh, my goodness. Who knows? Uh-oh. I just mistakenly almost blocked somebody. Sorry, I was like trying to click and then I was right clicking. I hope Brit is gone and Kenya comes back. Yes. I at this point, the fact that she skipped the reunion, I think it's a telltale sign that she ain't coming back because I think Andy's probably gonna take this as yep, don't come back. Unless she has a really good reason, like somebody passed away, she was in the hospital, she was unwell, somebody would like unless it's a serious thing like that, I don't think she's coming back. I don't think she's coming back. If anything, it's probably even an opportunity for a nice clean break. Nice clean break. Yeah, she definitely lied about how Drew said that thing about the college fund. Yeah, I think that, and I do think Drew was being a little shady, but the way she brought it back was very different from the way it was said. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's like she puts a little sauce on it, and she knows that because even when Portia said that that's not how she said it, right? And said that in front of Ralph, she did not correct Portia. Or that's how Shamia said she said it. She did not correct Portia and say, well, that's not how I said you said, or that's not how I said it was said. She just said she just kept it going, which means that she really doesn't see anything wrong in the way in which she relays her message. Right? So I definitely think there's something to be mindful of with that personally. She said the ladies were coming to her, but she was going to the ladies. Exactly. And also remember, she completely lied about there not being a pinky promise. Apparently also so it was like lying about no pinky promise. What is this? I just remembered. I'm like, my car insurance expires. Okay, no, I think I sorted it. Sorry, guys. It was like I got a reminder on my Apple Watch, and I was like wondering for a second. Sorry. But yeah, it was clear that the ladies, like she was going to the ladies, and it's funny because when she was at the table with the girls, she was like, most of the time, you guys come to me about Portia. Remember, she said most of the time. She didn't say all of the time. She said most of the time, which means there are times that she went to them about Portia. Nobody really caught it in that moment, but I caught it because I was like, what do you mean most of the time? If I don't be out here speaking about my friend, I will stand 10 toes and say, I did not say that. I would say every time you've ever come to me to talk about her, it's you that has come to me to talk about her. Never have I ever come to you to talk about her. Instead, she said most of the time. She said most of the time. And I think I was like, oh, so most of the time. So there are some times where you go to talk about your so called bestie. What a bestie you are. She is not to be trusted. She was low key complaining about Portia and then blaming the ladies. Absolutely. It's definitely gaslighting. She was really trying to, yeah, she definitely was trying it. Because it's like, how are you complaining about her? And then you take what what you guys tell her, and then she goes to the same person that she's complaining about to go and gist and be like, oh, that's my best friend. Girl, please. Who do you have your loyalty to? Kenya was missed. Definitely. I think even like I said, not a Kenya fan, but I definitely could tell that she was missed because yeah, the season brought nothing. So she apologized, bring her back. I agree, but I don't know how quickly she's going to be brought back, especially because it took her so long to even apologize. So we'll have to wait and see. I think if they're desperate enough, they will bring her back straight away. But I don't know if they'll bring her back straight away, to be honest. Yes, live by design. Yes, she is missed. Absolutely. She said what Shamia is doing is called triangulation. Loki turning people against someone, but Angela is too smart for her. I agree. It's almost like she was trying to turn everybody against Portia and then turn Portia against everybody. If you think about it, the whole even from the start, right? With Shamia and with Portia and Drew, if you guys noticed, she was the one that brought up the streets are talking about Drew, are you da 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 da. She started it, she set it up. Portia said nothing. It was until that was brought up that Portia then said something. So it's like, I know we're looking to Portia, and Portia has a lot, there's a lot to blame that Portia has done wrong this season. But then at the same time, are we also looking at Shamia and some of the things that she is doing as well? So yeah, I definitely think that there is, yeah, she was definitely low-key trying to like play both sides and make sure that either of them will not be cool, and in the end have Portia on an island by herself, because I think deep down I think she knew that she was coming for Portia, but she wanted to have certain folks on her side as well. I think that's what it was. Because it's like, how can you be cool with Drew? And then, yes, you're the one bringing the gist about Drew and Dennis allegedly, having or having something to do with each other. So it's all very, very shady. Now she's turning on the ladies because Drew said it was a plot and Angela called her out. Yes, exactly. Angela called her out. I'm glad Angela called her out because I feel like if Angela did not call her out, she would have flown under the radar and would have continued to look like the innocent party when she also has some responsibility in the matter. So I'm glad Angela called her out, because I think also if Angela didn't call her out, Drew would not have called her out. Drew was keen and okay to like keep it to herself, actually, is what I noticed. But I think because Angela brought it out and then it became a topic of discussion, Drew was like, all right, cool, let me talk about it as well. Interestingly enough, even when Drew talks about it, it's clear that Drew still thinks her and Shamia are friends, which is very, very shocking to me because I'm like, Shamia has not moved like somebody that is your friend. So I don't know why you seem to have so much grace for Shamia and none for Portia at all. Yeah, I see her. Oh, sorry, I think I missed one of your comments. You said I'm not a Kenya fan either, but I always give props to talent. Absolutely, that's exactly how I am as well. Because I'm always like, regardless of whether or not you like Kenya, you can definitely see that something ain't right. It was definitely, there's something missing, and Kenya is part of what is missing in this ensemble. So yeah, I always give definitely give props where props is due. Let us see. I see her going to the ladies and Drew. She said before the season, exactly, she said before the season that she was coming for her, but she was scared about what the fans would say. So it's like this was orchestrated, this was a whole plan. This was not like it just happened. Da, da, da. This was a well orchestrated plan. And I'm sure she had help from certain folks. I'm not going to mention names, but I think she had help from certain folks and really thought it was going to be a slam dunk. And it was at first. But when she kept overdoing it, there's a point where you overdo it and people are just like, yeah, we're not buying it anymore. And I think that's what it is. Guys, please hit that like button, smash it, smash it, smash it, please. I feel like I want to turn into smash it, smash it, smash it, please, smash it, smash it, smash it, please. No, but seriously, smash that like button, guys, please, and thank you. And Patricia Hans saying, yes, I like her. Yes. That's why she hates Drew and Angela now. Exactly. Because it's like Drew and Angela exposed her. Because I think in the past she was able to go under the radar as this sweet, sweet girl who has been able to who has been such a good friend to Portia, who has been riding for Portia, and Portia has been such a horrible person. And now it's like they're literally showing a slightly different side. Like, well, technically, she told us way before that she was coming for Portia, you know? And even for Angela to say that she sat and waited until she got the opportunity and then decided to strike, that's very, very telling, you know? And so I just think that People like that are scary. They lie in wait until the time that they can fully strike. Bravo didn't know Brit was gonna quit. They had already invited her to BravoCon. Wow. The fact that they even invited her to BravoCon tells me, cue the chaos. I like your name, by the way. The fact that they literally were going to invite her to BravoCon tells me they really thought like they did not need Kenya. They thought that she was gonna bring it. They really thought that she was gonna bring it, but she didn't. This is just my opinion. I feel like they thought that, oh yeah, Brit, da da da. Because why else are they inviting her to BravoCon? What has she done that requires an invite to BravoCon? Sorry. So I just feel like, yeah, they had already planned to invite all the ladies back. Ooh, so cue the chaos. First of all, it sounds like you know a little bit of tea in the background. So are you saying that they are planning to invite all of the ladies back to Real Housewives of Atlanta as full-time cast members? So like is Shamia coming back? Is Drew coming back? Is Portia coming back? I'm very curious in particular about Drew. So if you have any tea on that, please share with us in the chat. I will pull it up. Live by Design is cracking me up tonight. She's like, she quit. Thank God. They are in a tailspin now. Brit took out Real Housewives of Atlanta out of her bio on IG and turned the comments off. Oh my gosh. Crazy work. So she is given she was running. She was running. She was running. She was running from the girlies. That's what it's given. She was like, I am not taking no accountability. I am not letting them call me out about the country club business. I'm not letting them call me out about no Owen the decorator. She is like, I am not involved. Do not. No, no, ma'am. She is like, I am not involved. I'm going to remove it from my bio like it never happened. Okay. I think that is definitely what it's given. Please hit that like button, guys. Why all stingy with the likes? Hit that like button, please. Thank you. Lie by Design says, oh, lie by design. Sorry, it's because you said lie in the message. Oh, guys, it's late for me here. Live by Design says, lie in wait like a snake. Yep, that is exactly what she did. She's talking about Shamia. That is exactly what she did. She was like, I'm a lie, I'm a wait, and then I'm a strike. That is exactly what it was. Very sad. And it's something where we have to learn a lesson as well. Sometimes, like when you notice your friends have certain resentment towards you, especially when they start to befriend your so-called enemies, that is usually a sign that they do not like you. It's one thing to have, one person here and there, but to certainly go out of their way to befriend the people that you are not cool with, and then to be best friends with said people is usually a sign that they do not like you. This is something that I've noticed for a while now. So I just think that I'm not surprised that she was out here just lying in wait, waiting for her perfect moment to strike, and then did. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Thank you. Bravo is trifling. The fans have been screaming they don't like her and they're really not listening. Absolutely. Do you know what? I am starting to think that Bravo do the opposite of what we want. So maybe we need to start giving them some reverse psychology and say, guys, we want Brit back. We miss her so much. And then because we say that, Bravo are going to say, no, we're not going to bring them back. We're not going to bring her back. Maybe that's what we need to start doing, because every time we tell them what we want, they do the entirely opposite thing. It's like they take it as we are talking about this person, which means we are interested in this person, as opposed to we are saying we don't want that person. It's like, no, regardless of what you're saying, yeah, this is what we think you mean because you keep talking about this person. And I think that is what it is. assume that because we are talking about Brit and we're calling her out and we're talking about stories that have to do with her, they just assume that we're saying that, oh, well, we want to see Brit or she's a topic of conversation. I think that's what that is about. Anyway, running like a chihuahua facing the big dogs. Oh my gosh. Probably thought Kenya was going to be there. Maybe she did. And she was like, yeah, I do not want that. I think also, right? She's probably thinking Angela, because I don't think she's cool with Angela either. Angela basically, last time she faced off with Angela, Angela told her she had stretch marks around her mouth and miles in her mouth. And then Phaedra was out here talking about girl about town. So it's like, I'm sure she knows that she's not going to get away with it. And she has watched the episode enough to see that people are going to come for her about specific things like the decorator, her not being able to throw a good event, all that kind of stuff. So I think she's just like, please, I do not want to have to relieve this again. Let me just remove myself. I also don't trust people who are friends with everyone. Ooh! Oh my goodness. Say it louder, please. Say it louder for everybody at the back. I'm with you. I always say this, anybody that is friends with everyone is a friend to no one, because it's like, how can you be friends with everybody? Now, that is not to say I am generally someone that is very cool with people. So I can be cool with everyone, no beef. But when it comes to friends, I have a very specific small number of people that I call friends and are my friends and I'm friends too, right? So I just think like, yeah, you can't be friends with everyone. If you're friends with everyone, then you're a friend to nobody. You have no loyalty. How are you even able to pour into those relationships? So exactly, I just don't think, yeah, that's a friendship thing. Either they want something or are planning to harm you. Agreed. Agreed. There's usually an end goal in mind. Sometimes it's like they're using you to get opportunities, they're using you to get access to other people that they actually want to be friends with. It's just, yeah, it's a number of things sometimes. And it's just like, yeah, is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's what I always say. Is it worth it? I think I'd rather just have friends that I know, like, yes, they value friendships and are not desperate for everybody's attention, because that's how I see it. Humble Wise says Andy needs to go. Why do you say that? Um, I'll be curious to know why you say that, Humble Wise. Um, I did see a picture of Andy, and Andy looked tired. Bless Andy. Andy looks like he'd been working overtime. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, hold on. Is it showing you guys or no? Oh, it's not. Let me share this tab instead. Look at Andy. Andy looks a little tired. Andy looks a little tired. Andy looks like he's been through some things, honey. Like, ooh, hold on. My Mac is about to die. Let me get my charger. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I did not plan to be on live all day today. Literally, I spent my evening with you guys right after work. It's been you and I. Give me a second. Let me get my charger plugged in. Okay, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. So you guys, like it seems like a lot more people are on this live than the live I went on earlier. You guys like this late session. Normally at this time, I'm like either getting ready to sleep or I'm asleep. I'm in bed at this time. So, but yeah, but either way, I'm loving hanging out with you guys. So yeah, Andy looks tired. Look at Andy's face. Andy's, Andy's eyebrows, Andy's eyes. Like, Andy looks like he hasn't slept properly in a while. Like, don't get me wrong, he still has nice skin. It's just like Andy just looks a little tired. That's just the vibe I get. So I'm just like, Andy, you better have enough energy to host this reunion, because people would at least like for the reunion to be better than the season itself. And now that Brit is not coming, I hope that the reunion can still be good. Because I don't know. What else is there to talk about? Portia and Dennis, please miss me with that. I hope they do show less of that in the reunion clips. I do not want to see that. And now we can't even talk about miles on your mouth. Or maybe we can. Maybe Brit is going to join from home or from wherever she's going to be joining from. But anyway, I guess we'll have to find out. I agree. He's at least shouldn't be doing most of the decision making. He keeps fumbling. Yes. The funny thing is, do you think he's actually one of the people that do the decision making? I don't think so. I think yes, he's involved, but I don't think like he's the main person as such. Because sometimes the person you see on the front end is not the person that is making majority of the decisions. Of course, I think he has some influence, but I don't necessarily think like he's the one making all the decisions or majority of the decisions. Let me see. Exactly. Angela alone would have destroyed her. Absolutely. And I think she knew that because let's be honest, Angela already showed her that, girl, I am not the one to be played with. So she's probably like, yeah, now. And I don't know what would happen in the next episode that we will see that probably made her feel like, yeah, I don't have any friends here. So let me not even bother showing up. Andy needs to retire. Bless him. I don't know how long it's gonna take Andy. Andy is probably gonna still be doing it until the wheels fall off at this point. Cause yeah, it definitely looks like Andy is about that life. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night here. Thank you so much to everyone. Shout out to Leave by Design. I absolutely enjoyed reading your comments, chatting with you. Please always come to my live. I love the engagement. Humble Wise, thank you so much for joining in the chat. Thank you so much. Q the Chaos, thank you so much for joining in the chat. Really appreciate you. Patricia Hunt, thank you so much for joining in. Let me see. I don't like to miss anybody that came on to talk. Let's see. Candy, thank you so much. Lynn Lynch, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys made it really interesting with your live comments for us to engage with. And thank you to everyone who has liked any of my videos, who continues to like any of my videos. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me read Humble's comment. Humble Wise is saying, even in the jungle, the head lion eventually wanders into the wilderness to retire. Oh, legit. You know why I'm cracking up at this? This reminds me of like how Nigerian proverbs, or African proverbs are. Sometimes when they're like, oh, the jungle, the lion, and all of that is very, very entertaining to me. But anyway, a fresh face will bring new results. Andy handles reunions and watch what happens live poorly. Yes, yes, yes. The problem I have with like other new people sometimes is like when they have new people that host these reunions, sometimes they don't have the context, they don't have the background. And that's why sometimes I'm a little bit like, at least Andy seems to be watching the girls, he seems to be invested compared to like some new people in the past where I've watched like certain reunions and I felt like the host does not even watch the show. And there's nothing I hate more than that because it's like there's so many gaps that they miss. And it's like if you're missing like serious gaps, there's nothing as bad as that. It's like, what are we doing? You're missing information that could have added to the context on the show. So that's the one thing I really hate about that. Live by Design said, I love this live. Thank you so much. It's been a fun live for me as well. And it was funny because it wasn't even planned at all. I just saw the news that Brit skipped the reunion and I was like, let me come up here and talk to you all about it because yeah, I can't keep this to myself. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging with me. I love you all. Hit that like, subscribe, share button. Turn on all your notifications so that when next I go live, you guys can come and hang with me. And I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next live. Have a wonderful day, guys. This one, it's what, almost 10 p.m. for me, so I gotta go to bed. But thank you guys for hanging with me, and I'll see you guys in the next.